So let me start with what most of you already know, right? Which is that obesity is a problem. Right? This is the map of obesity prevalence from 1985. Okay? And what you see is that the states with the most obesity, including Ohio, were at 10 to 14% of the population that had a problem. What I'm going to show you is what happens as we move forward in time, right? So 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Now we start getting some states that have rates of obesity of 15 to 19%. Okay? 92, 93. Notice that Ohio's trying to hold out here, but it doesn't last long. 94, 95, 96, 97. Now we already have some states that are showing rates of above 20% of the population are obese. 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Now we're getting some states that show greater than 25% of the population as obese. 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. Now we're getting some states that show rates above 30%, right, that are obese. 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Here is the truth about obesity, right? That I don't care what the infomercial at 2 a.m. tells you, this is true, right? The number of calories you take in and the number of calories you expend are critical, right? So if you take in the same number of calories as you expend, you're going to maintain your weight. One way to think about this is to think of your fat tissue, right, your adipose mass, as a bathtub, right? And the case is that if we keep the water in the bathtub the same, it must be that the rate at which the water is coming in and the rate at which the water is coming out have to match. Okay? And a big piece of what I do is try to understand how is it that you do that and do it so well under normal circumstances. And what I would argue is, I'm a neuroscientist by training, right? So I study the brain. That there's only one way to do that, and that has to be that your brain is controlling both the intake and the expenditure side of the equation. But in order to match them accurately, what does it need to monitor? Well, what it needs to be able to know is how much water is in the bathtub, right? How much fat is on your body, right? So it has to have feedback about that fat. And it turns out we have a very good idea now about how your brain accomplishes this, right? And it turns out it's dominated by a hormone called leptin. So leptin is made in the fat cells, right? The adipocytes. It's secreted in proportion to how much fat you have, and it lands and acts on a variety of specific receptors in key regions of the brain that are associated with the control of food intake in the body. Okay? So why is it that most people have a very hard time losing weight, right? And the data would say that for most individuals who are overweight, losing weight and keeping it off over long periods of time is a difficult act. Okay? Well, the answer is, at least in part, that the biology of this system means that when the water goes away, right, which is the whole point of the diet, the levels of leptin fall. Okay? When the levels of leptin fall, your brain interprets that as a situation in which the system is beginning to starve. And what does it do? Well, it makes you hungrier, right, to grab more things, and it slows down your metabolism in order to keep the water from leaving the bathtub fast. Right? So part of what we all want to do here is to understand how this biology works, to make it easier for people to lose weight without having to fight all of this biology. Never going to make it easy, but we're trying to make it easier. And to take all this biology that normally works against us and have it work for us instead.